Our country needs a third party to keep these two parties in order, and you're going to have to be a part of that process. And I plan to do quite well before it's over. Just briefly, let me say this. Over 50% of the people who testified against me have now admitted they were pressured to lie, and there's a young man in Nigeria, a black man, who said his life was destroyed because he wouldn't perjure himself for the government against Jim Traficant. The government has tried to make him change his position, and he's been threatened if he doesn't change his position, they will deport his 79-year-old parents from Baltimore. He told them to go to hell, and the government is now attempting to deport his 79-year-old parents from Baltimore. What has happened to our country? I never complained. You never heard me complain one time, did you? Because I knew from 1983 they'd put me in prison. But see, there's a lot of people who have gone to prison in this country. And Nelson Mandela of South Africa, he said, if you really want to know the truth and the character of a nation, you've got to go through the prison system, and how true it is. I've seen all sides of America. The good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent. But one thing I see is we do not control our own country anymore. I've been saying it for a long time. I've had both parties oppose me. You're looking at the only Democrat in history that was targeted by the Democrats before he took office. And I don't know what's happened to these parties. I want to commend you on a day like this for coming out. You are the grassroots of American politics. Our country needs a third party to keep these two parties in order, and you're going to have to be a part of that process. Now, I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. You know, when I was in Congress, I voted for Democrat initiatives if I thought they were good. I voted for Republican initiatives if I thought they were good. There was only one criteria. Was it good for America? If it was good for America, I supported it. And that's what we must do. Now, I know the Tea Party is developing a reputation as being a basher. Bashing government. Some say bashing Obama. I want to say this. Yes, some call you terrorists, nuts, kooks. Don't feel bad, they call me those things too. But I want to say this. I think the President Obama's heart's in the right place. He's dodging raindrops. Give him a chance. And I want to say to you today something a little bit different than maybe what you're hearing. Don't just oppose. Don't just stand and complain. Start to develop a process by which you propose, you recommend, you begin to lobby and push for things that need to be done in the country. Now I'm going to give you a brief synopsis here, because I've had a lot of people that disagree with both sides, Republican and Democrats, for years. We have a progressive communist income tax in the United States of America. We have to abolish the IRS and repeal the 16th Amendment. This should be your rallying cry. Now people say Traficant makes fiery speeches. He's going to get you all excited, but nothing's ever going to happen from it. Well, they said that 20 years ago when I set out to change the burden of proof in a civil tax case. It took me 12 years because you were guilty in the eyes of the IRS. 12 years, but in 1998, the Traficant language was put into the reform bill, and 95% of tax cases are civil, and now the burden of proof is on the government. You're innocent till proven guilty. Damn it, they said that would never happen. But that's nothing. I see the politicians now all starting to beat their chests that they're going to audit the Federal Reserve Board. After the audit's over, they'll all put their hands in their lapels here, like John Kennedy, and say, we audited the Federal Reserve. We're really going to straighten those international bankers out. We don't need an audit of the Federal Reserve, folks. We've got to abolish the Federal Reserve. This is not as radical as you think. See, there's one basic program, foundation, predicate by which we function. As Americans, we're capitalists. And we follow a constitution, the Constitution of the people. And the Constitution is quite clear. A Republican, and a great Republican back here, touched on one issue. It says Congress shall regulate commerce with foreign nations, not open the damn door. Regulate, look it up. It means that the machinations of international commerce shall be adjusted pursuant to the benefits of the American people. Tell me where that's going on now. We've got a $750 billion trade deficit. My dad was a truck driver, but he told me one thing. If you buy more than you sell, you go bankrupt. Ladies and gentlemen, $750 billion trade deficit. How can we survive? The second issue, the Constitution says Congress shall coin the money, not a bunch of international bankers. What has happened to us? And nobody's listening yet. I want you to look very carefully at one of my last bills. I am absolutely convinced that America cannot solve its trade problem, cannot solve its budget nor economic problems under our current system. The foundation of the Communist Party, Karl Marx, was a progressive income tax that must be eliminated, and I've recommended. And all of the opponents of Jim Traficant are going to say, man, he's going to put a 25% tax every time you go to a restaurant, every time you buy a jacket, every car you buy. Because the Traficant program abolishes the IRS, repeals the 16th Amendment, and places a flat, final retail sales tax of 25%. Now listen. Listen before you clap. Because when the mainstream media gets done with you and all those politicians, they're going to have you confused. So just listen to what I say.